I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and this is the 30th of November, the last day, I think. Yeah, um, November. So tomorrow's what, one, two, yeah. Wow, this has gone by quick. I've been so sick. I wanted to put this up today because I really reached the end of my rope. I have been putting up here about my immune system being used to actually kill me. Um, my whereabouts may look like it's my choice. It's not. It's how it's arranged. And this has been going on, and I realize now I, uh, that when I was married, that chemicals were used on me. I would get so sick when I entered a room that had just been painted. Now paint's a little different, but I would still probably react if it was just painted. But glue, even nail polish remover wouldn't send me into orbit, so to speak, but it would make me feel bad, change my mood, and it causes, anyway, sealants. And I hesitate to even put it up because some people, especially in where I've lived, find it comical. I'm not kidding you. Like one woman, I always tell people that I'm allergic to chemical. I have an autoimmune disorder, and it makes me really sick. My immune system attacks itself, and uh, it's according to how long it's used before I can get away from it, because that's what you have to use. This has to be stopped, what they're doing to me. They're force feeding and using my environment, controlling it, and I'm telling people, and um, it's something that's not, it's the government doing it, and it's who I am. I'm Victoria II. My father's Edward VIII, a clean cut, decent man, and my mom, he never married Wallace Simpson. He wouldn't go along with the Illuminati, which was John F. Kennedy and his father. His father wasn't just appointed ambassador to England in 1936 by a Jew, the president Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who everybody thinks he and Eleanor are great. She was a direct link to my kidnapping, to Wallace Simpson. I even have a picture up there. I was kidnapped in 41, brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given another name. And that fall, she is shaking hands like job well done in 41 with Eleanor, Wallace and Eleanor. So pictures tell a lot, but Eleanor was very much into the United Nations, which is your global government. And this will be proven. It's got to be one day. It's already proven. When they took my father down, married to my mom, nothing, Wallace Simpson was an American spy. And the end there, I know, is the railroad. I did not know my Aunt Anita, that her husband was way up in the railroad. Part of this is connected there, and I've got to read more about that because she's my aunt. So I don't know. I don't know how to go about it because I can't get an attorney. Anyway, oh, let me get back if I can to what I was trying to say. Oh, I'm just gonna skip it because I'm so sick where I'm at. And when you go out of the room, it disregard if you can the fact that it's got mold, mildew, and wet, and if it's cold as hell here now. And a lady was nice enough to give me a new little heater that's cute, but then it's acrylic and I can't get near it. I've tried to use it because it's cold, and then I turn the heat on over there, or even the fan, and I go into orbit because it gushes. They've got it where they can turn it on and off up at the desk, I assume, at a HUD that I got, a low income, over in Bedford in 2011. By the way, listen to the day they took me over there, the 1st of July, and then they had this big, right in my face, across from the Bedford Memorial, but right where I was living there, parties, going on celebrating my demise. I mean, I'm Victoria II, kidnapped and brought over here. My father was honest. He wouldn't let the Illuminati, Freemason Mafia tell him what to do, so they took him out with character assassination. Then they had the gall to kidnap me, his daughter, when I'm born a couple of years later. Sir Winston Churchill helped Roosevelt, Eisenhower, Truman. By the way, when I was driving the Hustler car, turned loose with no money to I had to get out and beg for it, driving this brand new car with all my few belongings in it, back what was left back then. I stopped in Independence, Missouri, and that's a Truman, where he was born. I went in to the church there, and I actually was telling them that I'd run in the campaign and just explaining I was shut down and I didn't have that money for gas or food. Could they help me? And I remember her saying something about Truman, President Truman. Well, I knew he was from there. But, this gets into hating me and using it to deny me anything. And Truman and Eisenhower and Sir Winston Churchill and the Archbishop of Canterbury got in, and God knows who else. JFK helped kidnap me. His dad was appointed for the specific reason by Roosevelt, a Jew, and I'm going to say Jew because there's no friggin' right they had to do this to me, my babies. And once you ever hear this, if by the grace of God and some nice people that have been around me, trying to help, and there are a few, that don't think it's all right to do this to me. And to my mom, if you want to talk about Americans, my mom was a school teacher. The O'Keeffes had money, some, and Georgia, the artist, is my aunt. Well, they tied her money up. Evidently, they tied Anita O'Keeffe, my aunt, up because she was wealthy. And there's something I just learned about Wallace Simpson. I know that after she married the double, they took out my dad. She's a sick. They both were. Anybody who was a part of that is sick beyond belief in my kidnapping, taking down of my dad. This woman had the gall. I had that picture where she approached Anita, my aunt, at a polo match. It went missing along with some other photos. And you should have seen the outrage. You could see it on Anita's face. How dare you? The camera caught it with Wallace stooping over to sit down and my aunt's reaction to it. It was an umbrella there. Anyway, this thing's going on with Anita's estate or something right at the moment. Maybe I shouldn't even say it. They tied up George's. Now, where am I? I'm still sitting here praying that all this is told. And if there's, let me say this. It certainly seems like it's gone, well, it has gone into the biblical predictions of the end times. I didn't know I was writing about anything to do with the end times. I didn't know at the time or couldn't remember. I'm told subconsciously I always knew, and I did. I can look back at things I would blurt out almost. And I can remember standing when that woman, Lina Dempsey, killed her twins, and they put me there and gave me Peggy's name. I remember a scene that played out, and it's very vague, but it comes back, where she's talking to me, Dempsey is, and I have a dress that somebody from California tried to help me at times through when I was little, so they always knew where I was. They just couldn't reach me, whether they had a mechanism in me that if they tried to, I'd be killed or what. Because they sure tried to help me. And my parents, of course, can you believe what happened to them? Taking their daughter, having him marrying a woman when he's already married, had nothing to do with her, taking away his title. The Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, the Kennedy clan, the friggin' Kennedy clan that people think and adore this sorry sot and his son who came up on the friggin' mountain here when I'm in 94, I think it was. And I can date that. There's got to be cameras or something that caught him flying in here with his cousin, who's JFK's Jr.'s mom, Sister Bouvier. I forgot who she married now. But her son, which is cousin to JFK Jr., came with him, and they came up the mountain all dressed in their backpacks. And I had starved and froze and lived on. It was spring. And he came up and he admitted he's JFK Jr. I told him, I said, "You really look like him." Well, he said, "I am." And he was. At least he poured his food out there and said, in front of me, didn't offer me any, said, "We came up here to see how we made you live." Or I came up here to see how we made you live. So he's gloating. And I'm going to say this and get off. If there's any justice in the world, this bunch of crooks, JFK and that family. You remember, most people, Christianity believe in God. Do you really think that he thinks it's okay? All that's been done, they stole from the British. And then somebody can say, "Well, the British this." You can bypass it all you want to. Maybe in this, it will be judged on what you friggin' did to me and mine. And to take up for this sorry man. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know it's true. I've put it up before. I was trying to go across Canada to get somewhere away from all this hell. And find my kids somewhere, get some help. And I remember it was in the bus station, and it had to have been a bigger Detroit, or I can't remember. It was way back. But it was filled up, and I felt like I didn't have money. I hadn't slept. Besides what had been done to me in Atlanta, April Fool's Day of 80. I thought it was because of the book, and then I found out I'd been kidnapped. I get in the campaign, and that was written up in Hustler magazine. He tried to help me, and here I see all these comments about Larry Flint and calling him names, and I don't know, it may turn out that he may have, I don't know. When Larry Flint's guts, I don't know any other way to put it, were blown by a magnum all over the streets of Lawrenceville. At least this man tried to help, and Hugh Hefner tried to help me. So now then, where's your churches? I want to ask you that. Churches will not do a darn thing for me. I haven't committed a crime. I have had things done to me and my children. What do you think I am? I'm a hostage. Money poured in here in different ways. Treaties, NASA. How do you think NASA and Kennedy had the gall to, it was named Kennedy Space Flight Center. I mean, there is no end to this sorry lowdown. I may get knocked off of YouTube again. Somebody hacked my Gmail, and I can't get my Gmail. And this itty-bitty phone and cheapy from Walmart, but God bless Walmart. I mean, if it hadn't been for Walmart, over the years I wouldn't have had any clothes until now. That some and I want to say this again, very nice lady, Beverly is a very nice lady that was responsible for helping me get some things over the past couple of months, and I so appreciate it. So I guess I've wondered about a little bit, but bear with me. I've earned the right to wonder about a little bit. But back to what I wanted to say up in, this woman approached me. She's a black lady. Remember, she was, I think, thin, not heavy at all. She approached me and all that bunch of people at the Greyhound bus, or it might have been Trailway. I don't remember. This was a few years back. She approached me and she said, well, I don't think she wanted me to tell it. I don't know. But she picked me out of the crowd. She had to have been told to tell me. I'm going to go ahead and tell it. I don't know if this is true. The other things I put up, I clarify. I know are true. Or I make that statement, I'm unsure. She told me that JFK was in a hospital on a ward up where she had worked or was working. So she was told to tell me this. I mean, I hadn't introduced myself. She came over here and leaned over me and told me I was sitting down. And she said that this is, I'm not even going to go into the Watergate tapes and Henry Kissinger and how many times they tried to kill me and my sons. Anyway, I'll just put it this way. He wasn't dead. He was there on that floor, and they never came to see him. She said they did not come to see him. In other words, when he was shot, evidently it done its damage, but he remained alive. Now, whether that's true, whether this woman just came up out of the blue and told this, or maybe somebody sent her as a joke, I don't know. But I don't put anything past the Kennedys. They've gotten away with bloody murder all their life. And I don't know. I'm sitting here and probably people can hear me outside and they probably wish I'd shut up, and it scares me that somebody's going to come and handcuff me. You live in a world where if you're telling the truth and you're a certain person and the law doesn't apply to you, other than the law can come to your door and knock or catch you going out, and they can handcuff you and you'd wish to God you were dead. Now, that's all I'm going to say now. I have hope that this is going to be over in tow. I really do. And I want to say this. JFK Jr. was up there on the mountain and left, he and his cousin. And I'm going to say this to you. I wrote in a book before I found out about being kidnapped and all that and being flown out to Mr. Flint's, who was shot by a program shooter. I'm going to forget what I was going to say now, so maybe I should just get off. I'm tired, and, well, that slipped my mind, so I guess I'll just sign out right here. I don't mean sign out because somebody got to my Gmail. God help me if they've tried to hack my Facebook and everything else. My only means of getting the truth out there. So I don't know what. Yeah, I will finish this, I think. It's not all right what they did to me and my children, the hell, and it really has been if you're forced to see it. And my father and mother and my country and some of your own people is what you're going to find out that this government did to them. And that's what's going to inflame people. When they really find out everything I've said is true about the mind control murders and I put up. But anyway, JFK Jr. went on to live his life, George magazine. He promoted, and his cousin, they were real close. Oh, so, my point is this is such a feather in their cap, what they've done to me, the Queen of England, and I am. There were papers drawn up. It was an illegal takedown. And they're so proud of it. Why didn't they tell it in George magazine? Why didn't they preach it from everywhere? Instead of choosing to come up on the mountain while I'm freezing and starving and right in my face say, we came to see how we made you live. Well, I want to tell you this, whether God did it, it's poetic, the government did it, someone on my side did it. I was writing about mind control murders when I found out about my kidnapping and all this, or remembered it too. I can remember a lot of it then, even though I was 2 years old. And it's been proven since then. Well, I don't need to prove it. It'll either come to be or not. Anyway, that's about 94. It was 94, I think, yeah. It can be proven that time date that they came up, though. Something happened during that time. Now then, if I don't lose my train of thought here. In 99,